Japan doesn't just make snacks. It makes snacks so differently that eating one for the first time makes you wonder why nobody else thought of it first. A cheesecake so light, it wobbles when you touch it and dissolves the moment it hits your tongue. A fish-shaped waffle with a crispy exterior and a warm, sweet filling you can buy from a street stall for the price of a bus ticket. And a mochi ice cream that combines two textures and two temperatures in a single bite that's so satisfying, it's become one of Japan's most successfully exported foods. These aren't specialty products. They're everyday snacks that deliver more flavor and satisfaction than you'd ever expect from something picked up between errands. Today we're counting down 14 Japanese snack ideas that need to exist everywhere. Watch until the end because number 14, strawberry Daifuku, combines fresh fruit, sweet bean paste, and soft mochi into a single bite that most people describe as the best Japanese snack they've ever tried. Number 1, Japanese cheesecake. Most cheesecakes are dense, rich, and heavy in a way that makes them a small portion dessert by necessity. Japan took the same concept and went in the opposite direction entirely. Japanese cheesecake uses significantly less cream cheese than a standard version and incorporates whipped egg whites folded through the batter before baking, producing a texture closer to a souffle than a traditional cheesecake. The result wobbles visibly when the pan is moved. It jiggles. It has a structural instability that looks like it should indicate undercooking, but actually reflects a lightness that's genuinely difficult to achieve. The flavor is mild, lightly sweet, and delicately creamy. It dissolves on contact with the tongue rather than requiring chewing. A full slice leaves you feeling as though you've eaten something much lighter than what was on the plate. Uncle Tetsu and Bake are among the Japanese chains that have taken this format global. Anyone who tries one immediately understands why it developed such a dedicated international following. Number 2, Taiyaki fish-shaped waffle. Taiyaki has been sold from street stalls across Japan since 1909 and in over a century of existence has never required any significant redesign because the original format was already correct. A cast iron mold in the shape of a sea bream, the Tai fish considered lucky in Japanese culture, produces a waffle cake with a thin, crispy exterior and a soft interior filled with sweet red bean paste, custard, chocolate, or a matcha cream. The filling is sealed completely inside the fish shape, so every bite from the head to the tail contains filling rather than just the edges. The shape has cultural significance. The Thai fish is a symbol of good fortune and celebration in Japan, which is part of why a snack in that form became so embedded in the culture rather than being replaced by something more convenient. It costs the equivalent of about $1 at any street stall, takes about 3 minutes to make fresh, and has outlasted every food trend that's appeared around it for more than 100 years. Number 3, Japanese potato chips. Standard potato chip flavors exist on a short list that most countries share. Japan treats crisp flavors as a creative category that requires constant development, regional variation, and seasonal rotation. Calbee and other Japanese manufacturers produce flavors including seaweed and salt, consomme, nori butter, mentaiko, plum, and regional specialty flavors that change depending on where in Japan the bag was purchased. Limited edition flavors appear seasonally and disappear again, which creates genuine demand for specific bags at specific times of year. The cut is also different. Japanese potato chips tend to be thinner than standard versions, producing a crispier texture that delivers flavor more immediately and dissolves faster rather than requiring extended chewing. The combination of a more inventive flavor range and a precisely executed base chip produces a snacking experience that feels genuinely different from anything else in the category. People who pick up a bag in Japan frequently find themselves seeking them out long after returning home. If you're enjoying this so far, go ahead and tap like. It tells YouTube you want more of Japan's clever, everyday innovations. And if you love discovering things you didn't even know existed, hit subscribe so you don't miss the rest of this list. Trust me, the next ones are even better. Number 4, Japanese mochi ice cream. Ice cream and mochi are two things that work perfectly well on their own. Japan combined them and produced something better than either. A ball of ice cream, typically green tea, vanilla, strawberry, or mango flavored, is wrapped in a thin layer of freshly pounded mochi rice cake and sealed into a sphere small enough to eat in 2 bites. The mochi layer keeps the ice cream cold while staying soft and slightly chewy at room temperature, which works because mochi's composition means it doesn't freeze at the same temperature as the ice cream inside it. The result is a snack that's cold, creamy, and sweet from the ice cream, and soft, chewy, and mildly sweet from the mochi simultaneously. 2 textures, 2 temperatures, 1 bite. Mochi ice cream is now sold in supermarkets across the United States, Europe, and Australia, making it one of the most successfully exported Japanese food formats in the world. The export version is good. The version made fresh in Japan is noticeably better. Number 5, Umaibo corn snack. Most snack products go through price increases, packaging redesigns, and reformulations over the decades. Umaibo has been sold in Japan since 1979 for the same price it launched at, under 20 yen, roughly 15 cents, for over 40 years without a single price increase. It's a cylindrical corn puff about 11 centimeters long with a hollow center, available in over 20 flavors including takoyaki, cheese, mentaiko, salami, and corn potage. Each flavor is distinctly different rather than being minor variations on the same base seasoning, which is why different flavors have developed their own dedicated followings. The texture is light and airy with enough structural integrity that it doesn't crumble immediately on contact, which makes it significantly more satisfying to eat than most puffed corn snacks that collapse before they're properly bitten. It's one of the longest running and most beloved budget snacks in Japanese food culture, and the fact that it still costs 15 cents after 4 decades says something about the relationship Japan has with making things that are simply good enough to keep exactly as they are. Number 6. Matcha-flavored snacks. Matcha as a flavoring exists in two versions globally. The version that appears as a sweetened approximation, present mainly as color, and a vague suggestion of something botanical, and the version used in Japan, which is genuinely bitter, complex, and present in sufficient quantity to actually taste like matcha. Japan integrates real matcha into mainstream snack products at a concentration that produces the flavor's characteristic bittersweet balance rather than a diluted version of it. Matcha Kit Kats, Matcha Pocky, Matcha Soft Serve, Matcha Chocolate, Matcha Ice Cream, Matcha Mochi. The flavor appears across every snack category with enough consistency and quality that it functions as a genuine flavor profile rather than a trend. The bitterness of real matcha does something that most sweet snack flavorings don't. It provides a counterbalance to sugar that prevents the flavor from becoming one-dimensional, which is why matcha snacks satisfy in a different way from standard sweet options and why people who try authentic matcha snacks in Japan frequently find other versions noticeably lacking by comparison. Number 7. Melon pan. The name translates as melon bread, but most melon pan contains no melon. The name comes from the appearance. The cookie crust scored in a crosshatch pattern across the top of the bun produces a surface that looks like the skin of a cantaloupe, and the resemblance is close enough that the name stuck regardless of what's inside. What melon pan delivers is something genuinely hard to find elsewhere. A soft, slightly sweet bread roll with a thin layer of crispy cookie dough baked directly onto the surface, producing two completely different textures in a single baked item. The exterior shatters slightly when bitten. The interior is pillowy and light. It's sold fresh at Japanese bakeries, convenience stores, and street stalls across the country, often warm from the oven. Some versions are filled with cream, matcha paste, or chocolate. The classic version is plain, and in Japan that's considered more than enough. Number 8. Daifuku Mochi. Daifuku is one of Japan's oldest confectionery formats, with records of it appearing in Japanese culture as far back as the 15th century. The fact that it hasn't been significantly redesigned in 600 years is a reasonable indicator that the original concept was already correct. A soft, freshly pounded mochi rice cake is stretched around a filling of sweet red bean paste, sealed into a round, and dusted lightly with potato starch to prevent sticking. The exterior is soft, slightly elastic, and mildly sweet. The interior filling is smooth, dense, and sweet in a way that complements rather than overwhelms the mochi. Modern versions expand the filling options to include strawberry, matcha cream, custard, and seasonal fruit combinations. The format accommodates all of them without any structural change, because the mochi exterior is versatile enough to work with almost any filling that holds its shape. It's a snack with a 600-year track record of being exactly what it needs to be. Number 9. Japanese rice crackers. Senbei are one of the oldest snack formats in Japan, produced and consumed for centuries before the modern snack industry existed, and still enormously popular because the basic concept has never needed significant improvement. A rice cracker baked or grilled until crisp, seasoned with soy sauce, seaweed, sesame, or a combination of the three, and consumed as a standalone snack or alongside tea. The texture is firm and crunchy without being hard enough to be uncomfortable. The flavor is savory, umami-forward, and considerably more complex than the ingredient list suggests. The key to that flavor is the seasoning method. Soy sauce applied to a rice cracker during grilling caramelizes and intensifies in a way that produces a depth of flavor that post-bake powder seasoning never achieves. They come in hundreds of varieties, from delicate thin rounds to thick, dense squares wrapped in nori, and the range of flavor and texture across those varieties is broad enough that senbei functions as an entire snack category rather than a single product. Number 10. Ninja crepes. Crepes in most countries are either a restaurant dessert served flat on a plate or a street food item that becomes structurally impractical the moment you try to eat it while walking. Japan solved the portability problem by rolling them into a cone. Japanese crepes are made fresh to order from thin batter cooked on a round griddle, rolled into a cone shape while still warm and pliable, filled from the top with whipped cream, fresh fruit, custard, ice cream, or any combination of the above, and handed over in a paper cone holder that keeps the structure intact while you eat it standing up. The cone format means the filling is contained contained rather than sliding off a flat surface. The paper holder means your hands stay clean. The fresh preparation means the crepe is warm and slightly crispy at the edges, while the filling inside is cold. Harajuku in Tokyo is the neighborhood most associated with Japanese crepe culture, with dedicated crepe shops lining the streets and queues forming for specific flavor combinations that have developed their own following. Number 11. Hokkaido soft serve ice cream. Soft serve exists in many forms across the world, and most versions deliver a consistent, reliable experience. Japan's Hokkaido soft serve sits at a different point on that spectrum entirely. Hokkaido is Japan's northernmost island and its primary dairy farming region, producing milk with a significantly higher fat content and more complex flavor than standard commercial milk. Soft serve made from Hokkaido milk uses that richer base rather than reconstituted dairy solids. The difference is immediate and unmistakable. The color is a deeper cream. The texture is denser and smoother. The flavor is dairy-forward in a way that makes the milk itself the point, rather than just the vehicle for sugar and vanilla. It's served at farm shops, tourist attractions, and dedicated soft serve stands across Hokkaido and increasingly across Japan. And it consistently produces the same reaction from people trying it for the first time. A pause followed by an immediate understanding of why people travel to Hokkaido specifically to eat ice cream. Number 12. Japanese candy sushi. Most candy products involve unwrapping something and eating it. Japan makes candy that you prepare yourself, and the preparation is the point. Japanese candy sushi kits, produced by companies like Crazy under the Poppin' Cookin' brand, contain flavored powder sachets, molds, and mixing trays that allow you to produce miniature candy replicas of sushi rolls, nigiri, and side dishes using rice-shaped candy pieces assembled from powder and water, gummy toppings shaped like fish and egg, and a soy sauce-flavored candy served in a miniature bottle. The finished candy looks almost identical to a real sushi platter at a miniature scale. The process of making it takes about 15 minutes and requires following a sequence of steps that produces visible, satisfying results at each stage. It's an interactive confectionery experience that turns eating sweets into a small creative project. And the format has built a substantial international following through social media simply because watching someone make it is almost as satisfying as doing it yourself. Number 13. Calpico soft drink. Most soft drinks operate within a familiar flavor framework. Sweet, carbonated, fruit-flavored, or cola-based. Calpico sits somewhere else entirely. It's a non-carbonated Japanese soft drink made from fermented milk solids and water, producing a flavor that's lightly sweet, mildly tangy, and vaguely reminiscent of yogurt without tasting like yogurt. The fermentation gives it a subtle complexity that fruit-flavored drinks don't have, and the absence of carbonation makes it refreshing in a quieter, more sustained way than a fizzy drink delivers. It was first produced in Japan in 1919 and has been largely unchanged since, which suggests the formula arrived at the right place early and had no reason to move. Outside Japan and parts of Asia, it's sold under the name Calpis, distributed through Asian grocery stores, and consistently surprises people who try it, expecting something in the standard soft drink category, and find something that doesn't quite fit any category they already have a name for. Number 14. Strawberry Daifuku. Strawberry Daifuku takes the classic Daifuku format and introduces a single addition that turns it into something entirely different from the original. A whole fresh strawberry is placed at the center of a layer of sweet white bean paste, shiro-an, which is then wrapped in soft, freshly pounded mochi and sealed into a round. The strawberry stays whole inside. When you bite through the mochi and the bean paste and reach the fruit, the sharpness of the fresh strawberry hits immediately after the sweetness of everything surrounding it. The contrast is the entire point. The mochi provides chew, the bean paste provides sweetness, the strawberry provides acidity and freshness. All three arrive in the same bite rather than separately, and the balance between them is precise enough that removing any one element would make the snack noticeably worse. It's a seasonal product in Japan, appearing in late winter and spring when strawberries are at their best, and the seasonality is part of what makes it worth seeking out. You get it when it's perfect, or you wait until next year. If you want to see more amazing things Japan is doing better than the rest of the world, then like and subscribe, and make sure to watch the video on your end screen. It's packed with even more amazing snack ideas.